Saving more doesn't always move you forward. Sometimes it's the thing holding you back. I know it sounds backwards, but if you've been doing everything right and still feel stuck, this is probably why. Here's what most people miss. Saving and investing solve two different problems. Saving protects money you already need. Investing is what grows money you don't. When those two get treated the same, progress quietly freezes. My name is Max, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money quietly slips away from people who think they're doing everything right. In my last two videos, I talked about ways to save money. Now, let's talk about what to do after you've saved. Let's walk through the 3 times to flip the script. Because the rules most people learn stop working. The first time you should stop saving and start investing is when your emergency savings are already done, ready, and waiting. At that point, more cash doesn't add safety. No, it just adds comfort. What's sitting there feels responsible, but it isn't moving the needle. A savings account earning about 0.5% quietly falls behind. When inflation runs closer to 3%, nothing looks wrong. The balance even goes up. But while the number inches forward, prices race further ahead. Buying power shrinks. So even doing nothing is still a decision. It just doesn't feel like one. This is the first place people start losing ground without realizing it. And this is why it feels so confusing. You're doing what you were told was responsible, but the math quietly changed while no one was looking. The second time to start investing is when your income becomes stable and predictable. Paychecks feel regular. Bills feel manageable. So you keep saving because it feels disciplined. Honestly, it feels like progress. But this is where I see people stall. Not because they're careless, because they're careful in the wrong direction. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. Saving $600 a month for 5 years gets you $36,000. That's not nothing. But if it never gets put to work, it never compounds. And compounding is what changes the outcome. Compounding is when money starts helping make more money. At first it's slow. Then it starts helping itself. Like a snowball rolling down a hill. The bigger the hill, the bigger the snowball. Now let's zoom out. That same $36,000, at a modest 6%, grows to more than $115,000 over 20 years. Investing $600 per month for 20 years at 6% is closer to $277,000. Same habit, same effort. The difference is time actually getting involved. This is the part that surprises people. It's not about picking something fancy. It's about letting time do work you can't. Waiting even 5 years doesn't just delay results. It shrinks the hill your money gets to roll on. This is where the gap opens. Not because of risk, because of time. And once time is gone, it doesn't come back. The third time is when you're waiting to feel ready. Momentum is quiet when you have it. You only notice it when it's gone. And by then, catching up feels harder than starting ever did. This one feels reasonable, responsible even. Here's what almost no one tells you. Readiness isn't a feeling. It's something that shows up after action. Waiting feels careful, but it quietly trades time for comfort. And the early years matter more than the later ones. That's when compounding does the heavy lifting. Miss that window, and you don't just lose growth. You lose momentum. This is where everything connects. Inflation punishes money that stays still. Hesitation delays money from starting. Neither feels dangerous in the moment. Both cost you later. Excess cash plus hesitation doesn't protect you. It stalls you. And most people don't notice until years have passed. So what actually helps? If you do nothing else, do this. Decide what each dollar is meant to do before it arrives. One system for near-term stability. One system for long-term growth. Stop asking whether saving or investing is better. Start deciding what each dollar is supposed to do next. Because saving isn't the problem. Saving without intention is. And that's how people stay busy with money and still fall behind. Thanks for watching. If this helped you see your money differently, subscribe and like this video. I post these weekly, so stay tuned for more.